Hi, Betsy Kehoe from the Kehoe team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm here at the Cider Barn at Carlson Orchards in Harvard with Pat, the event coordinator for the barn, and with Alan, the manager for the Cider Barn. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
No, thank you for coming.
No, really appreciate it. So I'd love to start on the history of the barn and how this came to be. So whoever would like to answer.
Man.
Okay.
He's the man, he knows.
He knows.
As the Carlson family's been up here since 1936 on the hill here, and they've evolved as a family farm over the years. They had potatoes originally and did more vegetables. They had livestock for a while, and as the farm evolved and they realized that the apples that they had on the farm were really growing well and very flavorful, they continued to grow the orchard over the years, thus turning Carlson's into a orchard rather than a livestock farm. And the Cider Barn came into fruition over about the 18-month process of evolution. As the family sees the future of farming change, the styles of apple trees we have on the farm have changed from the standard big gnarly trees that you see typically to these smaller dwarf-sized trees that you no longer need the traditional apple ladder to get up into. And the hard cider end of things just kind of evolved from the sweet cider business, which was very successful for the Carlson family over the years. And they looked at hard cider as the next step in the growth of their farm to hopefully take the next couple of generations into the next forefront of farming and keeping the family up here on Oak Hill.
Well, the sparkling cider had been hugely successful for having something that was festive and people appreciated it for their different functions. And so it really was a natural progression into something a little bit more festive. It's not just an adult beverage. Kids are, young adults are really enjoying cider. It's really come of age. It's hugely popular with all the, and with everybody who's gluten-free too. That's become huge.
That's a great alternative, great option for sure.
It is, and our product's lower in alcohol than a lot of the products that are out there. We only run at 5% alcohol. So we're not much more than one of the mass-produced light beers out there. So you can have one or two and still be a responsible member of society.
I don't know about responsible, but we try.
We'll see about that. The structure is just amazing, and I see a lot of natural elements, natural wood and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about the tables and what the composite is of some of this stuff?
Well, the goal of the building was to build a barn that looked like a barn, and it is a post and beam construction. We had a lot of help from Geo Barns up in New Hampshire that helped with the design factor. And the goal, we really wanted to use real wood. We didn't want to use composite materials. We didn't want to use anything like that we kind of feel is disrespectful to Mother Earth and nature. So it's steel, it's wood, and the construction took 11 months. The tables and benches are all reclaimed wood up out of Texas. Great company down there that we've been working with. And then we even used some of their wood on the back bar. But throughout the whole construction process, we were really working on trying to reuse and have as little waste as possible. Any of the leftover wood that we had, we used on other projects throughout the farm. So the waste level was kept to an extreme minimum. And that was a concern for the Carlson family, that we keep as little of a footprint as possible in this process.
How long did the roof take?
The ceiling was 11 days to install, and it was 4 guys up on scaffolding and scissors lifts and wood pieces occasionally
and the rest
falling.
of us go,
I can't, but look at the finish and the light. I love the natural light that comes in.
Isn't that beautiful the way it just streams in down and shows the texture?
With using
it's remarkable. And also I understand that you have solar panels as well, and so how does that help you daily?
We are completely solar sufficient, and that's for the entire farm, not just this building. We will use a little electricity from the grid in the fall during the heavy part of our harvest season, but that's just to help run some of the refrigeration units that we have on the property. But net for the year, we are negative. We don't use enough that's even generated by the solar field, so that all goes back into the grid. And even reusing old apple ladders from the property that are 60 years old into a light fixture over
Alan
the bar.
thought of that. Isn't that great?
That is just, and he probably whittled it. I know.
He even strung it
in 10 minutes. Sure, I'm sure he did. And you can't see the most handy people, I have to say. I mean, we have a wreath that will definitely challenge Macy's wreath, and I understand Alan builds everything in his house. So clearly, the combined efforts of the two of you
We've had a good time.
It's been a lot of fun.
Well, when you have the finished product such as this, what's not to like, and then
Yes.
when everything else is where you want it to be in terms of what you're able to serve.
Well, I'm working with the Carlsons. I can't say enough about the three brothers, the respect for the environment. The apples come first. How they farm, who they work with, how they do it. Everything is done to the level of a gentleman. They are phenomenal people to work with and to be around all the time. And I've learned so much about protecting the environment and respect for community from these three men. And actually they've passed it along to their offspring as well. Katie Carlson works here at the farm, and I've never seen a woman work so hard, anybody work so hard. She's phenomenal. Little redhead, just spitfire all over the place, doing anything and everything that needs to be done. It's a great place to be. Wonderful environment.
Well, that's great, because that's rare. And it's always nice when it's a labor of love, and you see the fruits of your labor, which is this. And
yeah, literally the fruits of your labor. Yeah.
Literally. Oh, that was so good. So tell us a little bit about the doors here.
Again, going back to keeping the space open to nature, a little bit of a throwback to some of the old farm stands where you'd have the old garage doors that you'd open up to allow airflow through. And I mean, really up here with the aromas of the blossoms during the blossom season early in the spring, and then throughout the harvest season, you can smell the fruit. You can literally smell the fruit as you walk around out here, and it's amazing. And to be able to have that just flow through the building is a wonderful thing to have. And it keeps the nature. It keeps you in touch with nature. And when the weather does turn bad, we can close it down. It's the only building on the property that actually has air conditioning. So that's been...
And we get to be in it.
That's great.
Of course, the rest of the farm has lots of refrigeration, so...
Yes, it does.
They're not suffering.
No, it's just great how you can work in unison, because obviously if you've never been to Carlson's, they have the most amazing everything, apple pies, cider donuts to die for. So it's really nice that you can do this in tandem with them, that that they respect the efforts to be good with the environment and things that. So on the weekends, you mentioned that there was a tasting, cider tasting. What are your hours on Saturday and Sunday?
Right now, Saturdays and Sundays, we're working from 10 until 4. And we'll usually have food trucks out here also involved to support our tasting. And then that will change as time goes on. If it is bad weather, call us first before you come up. It can get very windy and very snowy up here in the wintertime. So
what's the wind load on this building?
Yes, I think you mentioned
130 miles an hour.
130 miles. Well, I think I'm going to be coming here versus
Don't
my house.
avoid us 10 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. We're safe.
You are very. So the way it works is, if somebody would come on Saturday and Sunday, they'll automatically be a food truck. Anyone that you
Not automatically.
So how does that work?
We try very hard to have a food truck as often as we can, but we're also going to try and have our own soups and things as time goes on. We're working at having some bar bites. Let's just call them bar bites.
No, that's
nothing complicated.
No, sure, because you don't have a full kitchen. Bar bites. That's certainly exciting. That's good though. That's really, really good.
Well, he's an old restaurant guy. Got to challenge his mind, not just on the cocktails, but on what food products.
Sure.
Like fried cheese curd, right?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I've had that.
Well, there's a first.
Don't knock it till you've tried.
We hope.
We'll experiment. We'll
Say
see what
cheese.
we can do. We'll do something.
So if you're like somebody, say Monday through Friday, and they have an event, there are no hours. They just reach out to you and you say, yes, this will work for us.
Yeah.
Reach out, absolutely. Okay. And even if we have a smaller, or if they want to have a smaller event, we've been known to section off a portion of the place. I'm acting like we've been going for years.
Right.
But we did take an area of the cider barn and devote it to a particular function. So don't hesitate. If you're small, you can still contact us.
Yeah. Sure.
We have space for everybody.
Absolutely.
Just not over 200.
Okay, that's good to know. No,
And that's including outside.
Well, we're really looking forward to all the wonderful things you can do for here and for the community. It's going to be amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alan comes to us from a restaurant background, and so he's very careful about food and food preparation and how what the temperatures are, how we are going to make sure that we're doing things according to what the Board of Health needs. And you were asking about pet friendly. Well, we're not going to be pet friendly because that's a little too close to food and drink. And the orchards, we can't allow pets in there for obvious reasons. And although it would be nice to, I'd love it, be able to have your animals here and walking around, we just can't do it. For the safety of those who don't like dogs or who are afraid of dogs, and then for the Board of Health reasons.
Sure. So that's actually a good segue. Food. I know you do have a kitchen, but you do not serve food.
It's not a full kitchen.
So, okay, yeah, if you could explain exactly what that is.
It's a donut room. It's a donut
There's
machine.
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, everybody should have a donut room in their house.
I agree. And I'm sure, and Alan will build it for you.
We could do that, yes.
And
There's a little leftover
Pat will
wood.
decorate it, and it'll be stunning.
Oh, did you see our soaps, our cider donut soaps?
No.
Speaking of
We
decorating.
have to see that.
Oh my God, they're so cute. Don't eat those.
Yeah, don't eat
Okay,
the
I
soaps.
won't eat those.
Soaps. But the room out back is very limited for space. It is the donut machine, and any food production is going to be extremely limited. We will rely on food trucks. We've been in discussions with other local businesses, with the Harvard General Store, working with them with sandwiches and salads that we'll be able to purchase, bring up here, and resell to our guests under their name. So we can work with the other community businesses to push Harvard business. So again, it all comes back to that community piece of being the good neighbor, being helpful. The Carlson family has done a lot with the Lions Club and the fire department. They're a very charitable family. And we even have charity events up here. We're looking into doing a run possibly this summer. So it's, the space was built as the tasting room to feature our hard cider. And honestly, it was built to take down a tent that we had outside our farm stand. So we wanted to give our guests a warm space in the colder days, a cool space in the hotter days that is enjoyable. Bee free, yeah. No yellow jackets in here.
Be free. Oh, I thought you meant be free as a verb.
We'd like to be free.
You
But
could
in New Hampshire. Okay.
Right now the tasting's free.
No, that's great. So basically, anybody would have to bring in their own food, catered, whether it's a food truck or other caterer, correct?
Correct. We've actually had Bravo Pizza. We've had
Great
menus on the
pizza.
table. Bravo has delivered for us. So as Alan says, the whole idea is we all have our separate niches in this town.
Sure.
And in order for everybody to succeed, we need to work together.
Absolutely.
So where we can, we are reaching out and saying, please, play with us, play ball. Let's do some community events together. We're talking about a farm to table dinner where, say Willard Farm, known for their tomatoes and corn, they bring in that course. How perfect, but to celebrate the farmers of this area, come together and build each other up.
That's a great idea.
And work together. Because we want to keep the open spaces of this town. It's important. We don't want to turn into a multi-family neighborhood. Not that neighborhoods are bad, I don't mean it that way, but we need to preserve our open spaces, and farmers don't farm just to keep pretty areas for people. They farm to make a living. And so we have to find new ways to make those livings possible, and it means working together to find alternate ways of doing just that.
Oh, what a great effort. Really, really commendable. So if somebody did want to use this space and rent it for an evening or what have you, who do they reach out to? Pat, if you could tell us what your contact information is.
My contact information is simply my cell phone number or my MPA Cooper at msn.com. And my phone number is 978-621-1303. Again, that's 978-621-1303.
Operators are standing by.
They're standing by as we speak, ready at the phones. And if Pat is unavailable for some reason, Alan, how would somebody reach you?
Feel free to reach out to me at 774-268-9775 or my email address at Alan, ALAN, _ KUSCH@yahoo.com.
Yahoo.
Yahoo.
That's great. So if you could, I know a lot of people might know where Carlson's is, but could you say what the physical address is and tell us about the parking for those that aren't familiar?
Right now, we are located at 11 Oak Hill Road in Harvard, Massachusetts.
Not 11.
Shoot.
Ignore that response.
115 Oak Hill Road.
Well, that's a little different, Alan.
It's 5. We have 5
What's a
parking
five?
spots for Carlson
Alan,
here.
so when
Where's my coffee?
Alan's talking about a tester, there's something called a flight, which I'm sure he's familiar with. A flight is you have a tester of 8 different, from what I hear.
What you understand.
What
from
I've
your limited
understood from
experience.
breweries, my very limited understanding, is there's a flight of about 8. And together, it would be a significant amount. I maybe suggesting that Alan was doing that, and that's why he's not remembering the address.
There's
He was
always
a test
quality
pilot.
control going on. I mean, you got to make sure all the
Yes,
cider is of
sure.
top quality before you serve it. It is a very hard part of the job.
Sure.
As is with coming up with cocktails out of our ciders at night. Working through these arduous recipes of mixing the Oak Hill blend hard cider with different things to generate and develop a wonderful old fashioned. It's tough.
His
It's
cocktails are going to be outrageous.
Well, I would imagine you don't want to be playing with any of those saws at home after you come back from work when you're whittling your
tough. You have 10 fingers
kitchen.
for a reason. You lose 1 or 2, you still have most of them.
Absolutely. No, that's great. So tell me where you appear on social media and how somebody would find you.
We are at carlsonsorchards.com is our website, which we'll keep updated as the tap room comes into fruition with what we are truly allowed to do. We're on Instagram. You can keep an eye on us at Carlson Orchards, and also the Cider Barn at Carlson Orchards on Instagram. And then other social media, we are growing
Facebook.
that as it comes along. Facebook, we're out there. And,
Kind of old-fashioned. We're Facebookers.
the Facebookers. It's,
Oh, but I've seen you on Instagram. You definitely have a presence there, so that's good. And I know
That's
you're trying to
thanks
read your
Joe.
gamut.
Joe, who works with us, has brought us kicking and screaming into the Instagram world.
No, it's a new world.
It is a new
It's
world.
a good world. Can you think of anything else that you'd like to add? You both have been most informative.
Thank you. Like it all comes back to the family farm. Again, 86 years on this hill, and just a wonderful family. Frank's in his 70s. He's here at 5 a.m. He's here until 7 p.m. He broke his back this fall in the orchard and didn't miss a day of work.
No.
And this
Wow.
man and his work ethic and his passion for the fruit is wonderful to see. And the history, you walk through the orchard with him and he talks about the trees, the old trees, the new trees, the blueberry bushes that we have that are 70 years old and still producing blueberries. It's just a wonderful thing. It's such a wonderful thing, and to be part of it is amazing. It really is.
And each brother has their own role that they play. Robert, for many, many years, was doing all the transportation. Because Carlson's has been such a quiet entity, nobody understands that there have been tractor-trailer trucks delivering sweet cider throughout New England for years. You can be drinking sweet cider in your home and not even know that it was Carlson's cider, because many people even private label it. So Robert did all the transportation and traveling, and Bruce manages the orchards and takes care of them and does all the pruning and all of those things. And then we actually have another man named Sheldon. In fact, they call him the fourth brother. Sheldon Rockwell has been part of this organization for many, many years. And, with a name like Rockwell, you can just imagine that he is the rock of Carlson Orchard. So everybody has something that they bring to the table. Now we just want everybody else to come to our table and let's build some community time together.
No, for sure. It's a collaboration with
Absolutely.
anything, and you all have to be, working together as a team, and of course have the same goals.
And actually get along.
Absolutely, which you do clearly do.
I don't like working with myself.
No, you've done
You
a
don't
great
like
job.
working with you
I
either?
hate working with myself.
Well, it's okay. I love working
That
with you.
shadow's always there.
Well, keep up the good work, guys. Honestly, this has just been for me, I mean, I love doing this because I love finding out the history. I mean, all we see is the end product, and wow, that's really nice. But a lot of people I know, at least from the soccer banquet, like, oh my gosh, look at this. I wonder where this reclaimed wood came from, because people do appreciate the aesthetics. Yeah. And so this was very, very helpful. And I know you're going to get a lot of support moving forward, and I really thank you for your time and meeting with me.
Oh, God, it's been a pleasure.
No,
now you just have to go exploring the barns with us and find all the crazy stuff we've been finding, pictures and bee fusers and I don't know, crazy
whatever you
fun
need.
stuff.
I'm there for you.
All
like
right.
I said, a collaboration.
Yep.
So stop on by.
Yep.
It's an amazing place, and thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.